A great way to make your own fertilizer is using worms to compost down the scraps. Worms can take this and turn it into this in a very short while, faster than any process I know of, and ready to put straight into your garden. So I'm going to show you how you can build a simple worm bin from scratch so you can make some of that proverbial black gold for your own garden. All I did was picked up 2 Rubbermaid containers. I drilled some holes in the top container, some ventilation. The bottom container is where the liquid's going to fall out from all the composting. So all you do is put them on top of each other, and that's your worm bin. You also drill some holes in the bottom. You really can't see here, but you drill some holes in the bottom so that the liquids can drop out. Starting it off, what I did is I threw in a little bit of dirt, some shredded paper, some brown wood chips. You can also use peat mulch. It works just as good. Add your scraps. Okay, now it's time to add the worms and your water. Do not use city tap water. Use distilled water or rainwater. The city water will kill the worms because of the fluoride and chloride in them. So do not use city water. Then after a couple of months, you'll have this. First thing you do is dump your worm bin out and spread the castings out. Newsflash, the worms do not like the sun, so they will bury themselves deeper. Once they do that, you can scrape off the top layer of castings until you start to see the worms again. You repeat this process until you have pretty much separated all the worms from the castings. After a couple of iterations, you have all your worms separated out. For my bin size, it can take about 2 hours total time, with maybe you scraping 5 or 6 times throughout that period. There are other ways of separating the castings, but this is simple enough for a small bin like I have. Now the liquid at the bottom of the worm bin I use is fertilizer. You would have to dilute it before using. I use about a half cup or maybe 3 or 4 gallons of water. So once the worms are out, you're left with pure casting. They call it the black gold. So what do you do with it? Well, there's a couple things you can do with it. You can make a tea out of it. It's basically where you sit inside some water and you let the nutrients seep out. There's some other things you do, but for all intents and purposes, you make a tea out of it and you add those nutrients as fertilizer to your garden. Another thing you can do with it is just take it and just sprinkle it in your garden and let the nutrients seep into your garden over time. Now, since we have aquaponics here at the Green Desert, we get our fertilizer from the aquaponics. So in this particular case, we got a good storm coming in, and so we're just going to take some of this worm casting and just put it around our plants and let the nutrients seep in along with the rain. So that's pretty much it. It's that simple. If you have any better ideas or quicker ways to harvest the castings, please let me know. Email me at info@greendesert.org.